Interesting news. Disney is on track to losing more than $12 billion. And it all started with a free speech fight. After Jimmy Kimmel was suspended for his remarks about Charlie Kirk and MAGA's twists, millions of Americans canceled their subscriptions, trips, and cruises in protest. The message was clear. People are willing to stand up, even if it costs Disney billions. But now the stakes are even higher. If Disney brings Kimmel back, sources say the White House and its allies could move to block Disney's new deal with the NFL, a deal worth $2 to $3 billion. The FCC has already warned networks to uphold professional standards. Affiliates have pulled his show. And the fear inside Disney is that defying Trump could put their biggest sports contract at risk. So basically, guys, this isn't just about one late night host. It's about whether a company will sacrifice free speech to protect its business interests. It's about a president using pressure to shape media and what that means for everyone watching.
We have a major update about Jimmy Kimmel. So according to Rolling Stone, hours before canceling Jimmy Kimmel's show indefinitely, executives at ABC, Disney, and other affiliates essentially came together, held emergency meetings. Many had agreed that Kimmel hadn't crossed the line, didn't do anything wrong, or at least didn't do anything wrong enough to warrant a cancellation, but feared retaliation from the Trump administration and therefore moved forward with it anyway. That is significant. Media companies are actively caving under the threat of retaliation from this president. And here's the thing, one day after Kirk was shot, Kimmel said this, quote, "Instead of the angry finger pointing, can we just for one day agree that it is horrible and monstrous to shoot another human? On behalf of my family, we send love to the Kirks and to all the children, parents, and innocents who fall victim to senseless gun violence." Those were Kimmel's own words. Spread the word. I'll continue providing you updates as we get them, so subscribe to my Substack, link in my bio to support my work, and follow along for more.
John Oliver called out Disney and ABC on his show last night for bowing down to Donald Trump by canceling Jimmy. Absolutely right, and that's the point that people have to understand. With someone like Trump, somebody who is a wannabe dictator, you cannot give an inch. They will continue to take and take and take and take until there's literally nothing else for them to take from you. And to these cowardly businesses, universities, law firms, and more who have bent the knee to Donald Trump, we will remember what you did. People like myself and other Democratic voters will remember what you did. Future Democratic administrations will remember what you did. And history will not be kind to people who tried to seek favor from a wannabe dictator.
Disney and ABC really stepped in it this time. Like, they screwed the pooch majorly with this Jimmy Kimmel indefinite suspension. They have unleashed an absolute shitstorm that I can't imagine they could even fathom was going to come. People in droves are canceling their Hulu, ESPN Plus, their Disney bundles, everything. I don't know if it's true or not, but people are supposedly threatening or are canceling their Disney vacations. Like, if nothing else, it has caused such bad PR. And the funny thing is, they did it to themselves. They bent the knee. They obeyed in advance. They capitulated to Donald Trump and the FCC without being forced. They could have taken this to court. They could have fought it and they would have won. But they didn't. They pulled the plug on Jimmy Kimmel, and now they have unleashed an absolute holy hellscape on themselves because customers are showing that they're not going to be pushed around, that they're not going to take this shit, and they're not going to support some bullshit company like ABC Disney that's going to pull Jimmy Kimmel off the air because of this. I cannot imagine they had any idea that this would be the reckoning for their stupid ass decision to bow to Donald Trump and to bend the knee. So ABC, Disney, Hulu, anybody affiliated under that umbrella, fuck around, find out.
ABC, grow a spine. ABC, grow a spine. ABC.
When Donald Trump tries to send a message, when he tries to send a message by silencing Jimmy Kimmel, he is trying to send a message to everybody. Watch what you say. No matter how big you are, no matter how beloved you are, he will take you down and make an example of you. And we are here to say, hell no.
What just happened isn't about one guy losing a show. It's about a government testing how far it can push censorship. And guess what? When they see it works, when they see networks cave, it doesn't stop there. It never does. Jimmy Kimmel stays, Trump must go. Jimmy Kimmel stays, Trump must go.
This whole industry is under fire because one guy got his feelings hurt.
I thought it was unacceptable. Disney is the corporation that just produced Andor. They just won an Emmy. That's exactly what we're showing, the dangers of fascism. And we're here to stand up for it because while we still are able to.
It's a trampling of their First Amendment rights, and instead of fighting it, they simply capitulated, which is so disappointing. Our federal government is being weaponized to protect one man's feelings. And it would be so absurd if it wasn't so dangerous, too. One of America's pastimes is stand-up comedians making fun of the president. If we can't do that anymore, then we don't have freedom of speech.
Hey, I just canceled my Disney Plus and Hulu subscriptions. And they asked me why. I hit other, and I wrote, because I believe in the First Amendment, reinstate Jimmy Kimmel. Now, my whole family is really gonna miss Abbott Elementary. We are really gonna miss Only Murders in the Building. But you know what? We would miss the First Amendment a whole lot more. Don't go to the theme parks. Don't go on the cruises. Cancel your subscriptions. Now.
The latest news is that the calls to boycott Disney and ABC are growing louder, and the pressure on the companies has reached an unprecedented level. All of this was because Jimmy Kimmel was suspended, and people were extremely angry. Thousands of people have canceled their subscriptions to Disney Plus, Hulu, ESPN Plus, and anything you can think of. What makes this even crazier? Big-name stars under Disney have come forward one after another, urging people to cancel their subscriptions to their own network. Imagine an actor working for Disney telling people, don't subscribe. Even the former CEOs of Disney have come forward and said the same thing. This is the severity of the problem. The boycott movement has not slowed down. If there is any difference, it is that it is getting bigger day by day. Disney and ABC began to panic. According to the latest reports, they really feel the pressure, and the pressure is constantly increasing. People's attitude is very clear. They either want Jimmy Kimmel to return to his position or ask him to apologize. Now, this is what is happening. People canceled their subscriptions on a large scale, and the movement spread like wildfire. Whether you like Cam Moore or not, this is one of the biggest boycotts Disney has ever faced.
I'm seeing a lot of people on here saying cancel ABC, cancel Disney, cancel Hulu subscriptions because of the Jimmy Kimmel firing. I've worked for all three of those companies for over 20 years. Especially in the last couple of years, I worked on a bunch of Hulu shows and on a big show on ABC for like the past 4 or 5 years with a bunch of wonderful people, a wonderful show. But I would be a total hypocrite to not say I am in agreement. You should cancel your subscriptions to all three of those networks because they are doing whatever Trump tells them. Trump now runs their networks. If Trump doesn't like someone or someone says something that maybe gets him mad, he calls them up and says, fire that guy. And they do. And this is right after a couple days ago where a Fox News piece of shit said we should start killing homeless people. That guy still has a job. The FCC didn't say a word. And neither did Trump, of course, because they agree with him. So yeah, you should cancel your Hulu, Disney, and ABC subscriptions. Yeah.
I don't know when it's going to hit the news of what happened today, but the blowback from this whole ABC News canceling Jimmy Kimmel Live is historic. Not only are people canceling their Hulu app, their Disney Plus apps, their ABC apps, people are boycotting Marvel, studios, Marvel Comics, movies, and any Disney movie. People are protesting outside of Disney in Burbank today. People are canceling Disney cruises, and people are canceling trips to the Disney parks, Disney World and Disneyland here in California. So screw Disney, screw ABC. You were concerned about the FCC and Donald Trump having power over you. And remember, you make your money off the people, not off the... So that was your mistake, getting scared by the FCC. You should be scared by the people who put food on your table, and that's us. And you're canceled.
So I just canceled my Disney Plus subscription, and I want to walk you through what happened because they've made it more difficult to cancel. There's no cancellation button on the immediate page anymore. Now you have to log in and then choose a specific profile and then go into the settings and then hit cancel, and then this happens. First they ask you, are you sure you want to cancel? Here's a subsidized rate, or alternatively, here's a way for you to pause the subscription for a couple of months. When you say you still want to cancel, then they give you another retention page, and they remind you of all the shows and movies that you'll be missing out on if you cancel your Disney Plus account. And then when you say, no, I still want to cancel, then it takes you to yet a third retention page, still asking you to reconsider, and that if you really want to cancel, to give the reason why you want to cancel. And that's where I told them very quickly and briefly that I don't want my hard-earned money to go to fascists who are anti-free speech. And then finally, when they let you cancel, they remind you that you still have the subscription for several more weeks, and they want you to reactivate the account. Early reports are that Disney stock has already plunged 7% in light of firing Jimmy Kimmel. Guys, at the end of the day, canceling Disney Plus is not going to stop fascism by itself, but it sends a message to these billion-dollar corporations that we are paying attention and that we will not tolerate this kind of fascism. And finally, I will say, if you have the capacity to transfer those funds to independent journalists, to activists, to people actually speaking truth to power, subscribe to them. Let's create a future by investing in people actually committed to justice and human rights, not those corporations capitulating to fascism.
All right, everybody, we have some breaking news. Disney and Hulu websites are crashing due to the amount of people that are going to the websites to cancel their subscriptions. If you don't know, people are canceling their subscriptions because Disney and ABC shut down Jimmy Kimmel due to some comments that he made about Charlie Kirk. Both sides are very, very divided about this, about what is going on. Some people are calling it censorship, and some people are saying that Jimmy Kimmel deserved this based on what he said. What do you think? Leave a comment down below. Are you going to go ahead and cancel your subscriptions?
You guys, so many people have been canceling their Hulu and Disney Plus subscription that the site is literally crashing. Hulu had to shut down the comments of their last post because everybody's commenting on how they're deleting their subscription. And I want to take this a step further because the Disney executives, they're panicking. I have had so many comments in my last video of people canceling their vacation and canceling their Disney Plus subscription. Actually, if you're in Burbank, California or New York City, guess what? The ABC headquarters are there. I think people should go and picket and boycott and protest there because this is ridiculous. I think you should unsubscribe from the Washington Post because why did they fire their last full-time Black opinion writer? If you don't know who she is, she literally changed how journalism is done on the opinion section in Washington Post. She's not no regular journalist. This lady has literally changed so much about the journalism world. And they fired her for literally saying word for word what happened last week. And the craziest part of all of this is that this president is down negative 17 points in popularity. So for Washington Post to fire that lady, for Disney and ABC to preemptively fire Jimmy Kimmel is insane. They could have stood 10 toes down into this administration and to the FCC and been like, try it and see what happens.
We have big news right now. The former CEO of Disney is coming out and slamming current CEO Bob Iger for essentially deplatforming Jimmy Kimmel. This is significant and shows that more and more people are coming out against Disney, against ABC. It's a new statement from Michael Eisner, who writes, "Where has all the leadership gone? If not for university presidents, law firm managing partners, and corporate chief executives standing up against bullies, who then will stand up for the First Amendment?" The suspending indefinitely of Jimmy Kimmel immediately after the chairman of the FCC's aggressive yet hollow threatening of the Disney company is yet another example of out-of-control intimidation. Maybe the Constitution should have said Congress shall make no law abridging the freedom of speech or of the press except in one's political or financial self-interest. By the way, for the record, this ex-CEO finds Jimmy Kimmel very talented and funny. There is a real movement to cancel now Disney and ABC, and more people are speaking out, so spread the word and follow along for more.
What's up, beautiful and amazing souls? It's Irene Jep Analysis, and in today's video we're going to talk about the panic, ABC and the parent company, Disney Plus. They're in panic mode. The executive, of course, they are panicking because up to today, as we speak, it has already lost millions and millions of money. So if you go to Google and search how Disney is performing at the moment, it will actually report that, it has already, it has actually over 700,000 customers have already unsubscribed from the company's products, from trips, cruises, and also the subscriptions that offer entertainment to them. And if you talk about 700 people unsubscribing or canceling their subscriptions, that means that, it's equivalent to the company losing 12 million per month. Are they really ready to do that? But outside there, if you follow up on the story, it tells us that, the executive met and they were like, Jimmy didn't do anything wrong, by the way. He did not go overboard and talk and actually or said the 7 words that is normally not allowed on TV. The only thing that they feared was the retaliation from the Trump's administration. And that's even why so many people are canceling their subscriptions, because they're like, why are they allowing the president to run their networks? If the president tells them, you need to fire this person, fire them. If they tell you cancel that show, you cancel. Like, how now? Why are they allowing a third party to micromanage these particular networks? I thought they were independent, and the Americans are not happy, honestly. Disney is a parent company to ABC. They came out and they cancelled Jimmy Kimmel's Live after he commented CK, who is Charlie Kirk, the late Charlie Kirk, and the Trump, the MAGA. He didn't actually say it in a bad way. It was just it's only that it was a satire. Customers are really canceling, and the cancellation is going up each and every day. And it is not only happening in America, even outside America, like all over the world. People believe in freedom of speech. Like, what is the purpose of saying your opinion if somebody else doesn't even want you to talk about what you think about it? So other presenters outside ABC are calling out these particular companies for fearing Trump. They're like, man, why are you kneeling to Trump? Why are you kneeling down on him? Are you fearing that much? So one thing that I loved about Jimmy Kimmel is that he had a huge fan base, and you could see people in California, in New York, they came out in the streets, and they're like, no, ABC's decision, we don't agree with that. How come? Why would you suspend a show that did not even insult anybody? It was just a satire. And how will shows look like without comedy in it? Because people want to laugh, want to be happy, and it doesn't really mean that serious when they come out and talk about you. And these shows, they've been there for over 22 years, over 30 years, and they talk about so many people, and these people, you've never seen them coming out to silence them. And an example is the former president of America, that is Obama. In these shows, he was talked about like so many times, and he has never ever silenced anybody, because for him, of course, is like, that's their opinion. And for me, I also believe that if you talk about anybody, you in fact make them more and more famous. For that person who didn't know that this person existed, if you talk about them, it's like you're making them more and more famous, and it doesn't matter if it's in a positive or in a negative way. Yeah, if you just publicly talking about somebody, you're making them more and more famous, and in fact you are helping them more than yourself. It's like you're building them more than you're building yourself. So okay, most of the Americans, they're like, this is not just about silencing a man, but it's about our government trying to push and test and going further into it, pushing for censorship, which we are not ready to allow it. It's all about freedom of speech, and that's what people are. I mean, even it's in the Constitution of America, freedom of speech is allowed. And all this thing, it's not about one person. It's about trying to silence the entire world. I mean, does it mean that when you want to come out and talk about anything or comment anything, you really have to sieve some other things that even were meant to be jokes here and there? So, okay, we've already talked about the host, talking about so many people. So, my good people actually feel like, a company like ABC and the parent company Disney, they're trying to protect the feelings of Trump, which doesn't really make sense, because it's not only the president. Why will you protect one person and try to deceive, like millions of customers? But at the same time, it seems like there is a business between the company and the FCC, and giving them a license to use it somewhere business wise. And I think that's also what they fear, being the retaliation from the Trump government. So a lot of Americans are coming out and encouraging others to cancel their subscriptions. Actresses, former CEOs, they're coming out and really telling the Americans, you know what, you need to cancel this subscription, because we cannot keep supporting such kind of, corporate worlds that really fear the current administration. Why will you bow down to a president, and yet you have your own structure, you have your own governance? And the fact that you've already shown us who you are. Even if Jimmy Kimmel comes out and asks for forgiveness, we already know who you are. And those trips that you keep advertising that you should go with our families, I don't know to where, we are canceling it out, and people are canceling over $15,000 cruise ships and trips. Others are canceling out 10,000, and they're like, even the ones that you are planning during this coming December, we are going to cancel it. We are not even going to attend again, because why would we allow ourselves to be used by a corporate world that is being micromanaged by one person who wants his feelings to be protected, and doesn't want other people to be listened to? So guys, I don't know what you think about what's happening with this ABC and the Disney cancellation of the subscriptions. I don't know what you think about that. Kindly let me know in the comment section. Let's talk about this.